Hello everyone! The Rishi ribbons have been gathered, giving us access into the Manaforge Omega and the ability to stand up against Dimensius' awesome aura. Nexus-King Salhadaar and the Shadow Guard are trying desperately to bring the Void Lord back. The darkest chapter in Karesh's history is about to repeat itself, but not if we can help it. Onwards into the Manaforge to disrupt its operations, or else risk a reborn Dimensius feasting on reality itself.
Analogous energy signal detected. Arcane barrier holding.
We have tripped the Manaforge's security measures and cannot materialize. Destroying this construct should lower the Manaforge's defenses.
Analyzing. Contaminants detected.
Starting off against the Plexus Sentinel. Patrolling the colossal machinery of Manaforge Omega, the Plexus Sentinel ensures that energy from the shattered world of Karesh is cleanly filtered into the Manaforge's central chamber. As the first line of defense, all incoming energy must be sterilized. All pollutants must be purged. Here's where our newly acquired Rishi reps and phase diving experience comes in handy, as the Sentinel will eventually push us away, and we need to quickly catch up to break its shield and continue the fight, but just running back would be far too easy. In our way stands laser beams, knockback bubbles, traps, and massive walls of destruction, which we need to pass through with our cloak. Each time we go through this gauntlet, it becomes a little bit longer, a little bit harder to deal with. But this is just the start of our fight into the Manaforge.
System.
We now have 3 pathways to pick from. On the left are the cultivation chambers with Loom'ithar.
Now that we're inside, we should deal with the Shadow Guard before pushing onward to the control chamber.
One path leads towards where the Shadow Guard produce arcane wrappings. The other, to the mage who binds them.
The Shadow Guard. Do what you will. I have my own plans for the Manaforge.
The beast the Manaforge uses to create the Shadow Guard's findings is up ahead. It must be slain. I will stay here and make sure no one comes to its defense.
Loom'ithar was purposely bred by the Shadow Guard for its unique ability to infuse arcane energy into its prodigious silk weaving. Bound to its fate inside the machinery of the Manaforge, Loom'ithar spins endless spools of arcane silk for his masters. The beastie begins the fight stuck in the middle, calling in a massive wall of death with a purple ring underneath that would explode and kill anyone still stuck inside. Up to us to break the knot and clear a pathway, aggravating the beast so much that its unbound rage will tear itself in two. Now the room will slowly fill up with the beastly's juices that hurt a lot, so best to put it out of his misery as quickly as we can.
Without that beast, the Shadow Guard's numbers will dwindle. Return to the center of the Manaforge. We need to determine our next course of action.
Here, souls are plucked from the void and bound with special silk made in the Manaforge. Kill the Soulbinder to cripple their reinforcements. I will keep any security measures from impeding you.
Then, on the opposite side, Soulbinder Naazindhri stands within the unbound vault.
You are not bound. Come, give me your soul, or my children will take it from you. To me, my Shadow Guard!
Within her dark chambers, Naazindhri binds unbound souls of the Kareshi into unwilling servants. Bound in silk wrappings, her victims emerge from their prisons to serve the will of the Shadow Guard. The Soulbinder is a master of soulcraft and arcane magic, enslaving the lost souls of Kareshi through the dark workings of the soul machine. These unbound souls, desperate for purpose, submit to the horrific wrapping ritual and are remade into devoted ethereal servants. Up to us to take them out before the transformation is complete, but sooner or later we'll have to fight some of them, some of these newly bound Shadow Guard assassins, mages and faceblades, but none will stand in our way for taking out Naazindhri. As a side note, what is interesting to consider is that the Locus-Walker mentions she plucks these souls from the void, and in her death speech she also mentions the void, and then we have their king suddenly returning from the void. The question becomes, where do the souls of the ethereals go to now that they're beings of energy, and is it just for the ones bound into void that might go into some sort of void domain? What about the arcane ones? Do they go into the domain of the titans? Do all ethereals go to heaven? It's an interesting thing to consider.
No! The Shadow Guard must rise! I cannot return to the void!
Now, no more Shadow Guard will be bound. I will stay here to see if any unbound can be saved. Go, return to the center of the Manaforge. We must stop Dimensius before he can reform.
In the next chamber, Araz uses his machines to feed arcane energy into the Dark Heart. Kill the Manaforger before he wakes Dimensius. I've brought down the security system blocking the way.
The Technomancer's Terrace has Manavent, Aphis and Batar, leading into the Central Operations and the Forgeweaver Araz. They control all operations within Manaforge Omega, ensuring a constant flow of energy into its central chamber.
I will not allow the disruption of Lord Dimensius' resurrection.
Dealing with the Forgeweaver means dealing with the pillars and managing the fights, but at the beginning the pillars are immune to damage, and in essence you just gotta dodge the orbs that he spawns from them. As well as from your body, there will be orbs spawning as well, and you can't let these orbs reach the pillar or bad things happen, so you make sure to spawn those orbs on top of the boss, and you just nuke them down, easy peasy. Next to that, the boss will also summon an echo, an arcane echo of himself that will cast his spells, and apparently on heroic you wanna split that apart because it reduces the damage taken and increases damage done, but on normal we could just tank them on top of it and cleave them down. The ad spawning in does come with a soak that you want to share, until the boss has enough energy gathered and you want to swap over to the pillars, not run directly headfirst into the photon blast, make sure to avoid those, burn down the pillars, keep up with cleaving the ads. For the tanks, if you need to, taunt swap the ads off of each other, because they leave a nasty debuff that like increases damage taken. Take care of the pillars, go back onto the boss, until you get to the spicy side of the fight. Now it will open up a black hole in the back of the room that's trying to suck us all off of the platform. Aim of the game is to move to the opposite side of the room. Again, you want to deal with the ads, you want to deal with the circles, you want to deal with avoiding all the stuff. And whatever you do, don't get sucked off the platform, don't go to that early demise. And you take care of the Forgeweaver.
Foolish corporeals! My sacrifice completes the ritual and hastens our Lord return!
What zealotry, what loyalty, sacrificing himself to power the machine. If only the rest of you had that kind of commitment. You will need it now. Dimensius' reformation is inevitable.
The surge of energy will tear reality apart and will quickly wake Dimensius. Xal'atath and I will try to stabilize the Manaforge.
The rest of you, evacuate to the wastes and find a way back in. I will gather my forces and meet you once I've done so.
Then we go outside into the waste of Karesh, where 2 encounters await. But one of them is optional, named the Soul Hunters.
Look, some poor souls lost in the wastes.
Ah, that's the thrill I need. I need bigger prey.
Oh, I hope they try to run away. It's more fun when they do.
We helped out the Void Elf Leona with her studies into the arts of demon hunting, which in turn had us help out Adaris with trying to master the powers of the Void. He foolishly tried to apply the same methods of dominating the demons to the Void, only to be overtaken by the maddening whispers. We had no choice but to quickly kick him through a portal into who knows where, and now he came back, which has some wonder if this could mean a future third spec for all demon hunters, which is possible. But at the very least, I think this quest is throwing up the idea of giving more elf races the chance to become demon hunters, as currently they're locked into either night elves or blood elves. But not gonna lie, getting a third spec for demon hunters would be also pretty sick.
Now you know true power!
I did ask around just to check if this was explained anywhere, and I just didn't catch it, but as far as I'm aware, they don't explain what happened to our demon hunter friend between us kicking him through the portal and now showing up in the raid again. We know that these astral powers can provide the power of teleportation, but where did his friends come from? What has he been up to? How did he master the Whispers of the Void? What I imagined could be really cool is if we saw like the demon within, similar to what we saw with Illidan in the Nighthold, except now it's void, eldritch horror corrupted, like the true being that is now controlling the demon hunter. That would be the thing that allowed him to maintain these void powers, but for all we know, he had a chat with Dimensius, or he had a chat with Xal'atath, or he found his own way back, or he's such a badass demon hunter that he did manage to eventually like manage those void powers. We do not know, and therefore any explanation can be given.
Run! Run for your lives!
Barely containing those abyssal powers, a Doris Duskblade seeks to devour the void energy surrounding Manaforge Omega. His deadly allies, Elissa Darksorrow and Valarin Bloodwrath, they've joined Adaris in pursuit of larger prey. Together, they will destroy all who oppose them, leaving nothing but chaos in their wake. This is a council fight. Us versus the 3 demon hunters with their epic abilities thrown at us, like the Hunt, or Fracture, or massive eye beams that need to be aimed away from the raid. He'll try to suck us into the middle to an instant death. They'll rush across the battlefield with fell rush lines. They'll smash down with massive fell devastation. And just look at their beautiful metaformed forms. And as with most councils, best to kill them around the same time.
I see nothing! Ugh.
Next to this optional fight, there's also the elemental Fractillus in the Wastes. Born of the crags and dunes surrounding the Manaforge, Fractillus guards his domain by harnessing the power of the biting sands and hardened glass of the inhospitable wastes. There are crystals on the battlefield that shoot out energy, and these beams are not allowed to touch the boss, but the boss will also make us spawn walls that increase the distance of the beam. Aim of the game is to spread out these walls enough so that the beam doesn't get too close, and we gotta be smart about which walls get broken up, as he will smack players backwards through those walls, giving us more time to put an end to the elemental.
Flesh-bound wretches! Shadow God, stop their advance!
My Riftwalkers are decreasing their numbers. This is taking far too long. Deal with Salhadaar. My forces will hold his Shadow Guard.
The wastelands then leads into the Shadow Docks, where the king stands before the seat of the Devourer.
When Dimensius arrives, you will all pay for your insolence!
Once the ruler of Karesh and sworn enemy of Dimensius, Nexus-King Salhadaar has emerged unbroken from the shattered husk of Karesh. Atop his royal Voidwing, Salhadaar now commands the ultimate will of the Shadow Guards. Oaths will be fulfilled. All will be made to serve. Even we, who so strongly stand in opposition, will be branded with oaths, which we need to get rid of by getting hit with Conquer, or will also be mind-controlled. Meanwhile, his dragon is busy swiping and sweeping at us from the sides. Eventually, his royal Voidwing jumps into the middle and actually joins the fight, with now portals all over the field to guide its dimension breath in all directions. We'll have to split a raid into 2 to deal with the Shadow Guard reinforcements, hop on over to the platforms and kill them, especially that Manaforge Titan before it self-destructs, to then jump back and resume the fight. That is, until the king's hunger has him consume his loyal steed. The health of his loyal royal Voidwing is absorbed, healing him with whatever is left. Then, the galactic cosmic powers reigning supreme on the battlefield. We gotta have the king break the star spawned with his mighty swing, before they completely dominate the platform. I do wish we would have got more story when it comes to the king. what is his motivation for siding with Dimensius? We know that they were part of the Devouring War and they stood up against Dimensius for years. What made them turn sides? Was it literally just time wearing them down? Was there a promise of power? Did he have something else in mind? How come he betrayed his people and joined Dimensius' side? I would have loved to have known more about the king, but oh well, too late, he has been slain. And now in front of us, there is the last encounter.
My reign!
Another king falls. You should be glad I know a loyal, tractable servant when I see one.
Xal'atath! No!
And now, the final reckoning is at hand. The all-devouring is nearly reborn. Go to the core of the Manaforge. Prove your worth to me.
For a moment, I thought that Xal'atath ate the king and put him in the Dark Heart. But she doesn't have the Dark Heart at this point. So, does look like she stores his energy some way, somehow. Which again falls back into the question as to, okay, what happens to an ethereal when they pass away? And the beings of energy, what could they be used for? All interesting things to consider. But Xal'atath is kind enough to open up the door. And there he spawns in Dimensius, the Void Lord of Legends. Still vulnerable at this point in time. We have 3 of the most powerful Void Wielders with us. He is just resurrected. He's still gaining energy. He is based upon the foundation of the Dark Heart, which is what brought him back. Now it's up to us to get in there and take care of business.
Alleria is fighting back the Shadow Guard. We're barely holding the Manaforge together.
How will we stop him?
We won't. Not alone. Your champions will hold off Dimensius until we can join the battle.
We start the fight, we're splitting up the raid into 2 groups, and we send them left and right, because ads spawn on the sides. The moment that you teleport onto the platform, as my raid quickly found out, that is the moment that the fight begins. So teleporting in is how Dimensius' music track plays, and we are good to go. At first, we're going to be dealing with the living mass that drop orbs on the floor. Whoever picks up those orbs, they have the job of gravity. And at the beginning, we need to bring that gravity to the middle so that everybody can soak in it and that we don't get sucked up by Dimensius. This way we have a gravity field and we can prevent being instantly devoured by the Great Devourer. After that, we separate our teams once more and we go back to original starting places where, again, while dealing damage to the Void Lords, we also deal with those ads and we make sure that we constantly have a gravity team on us, because Dimensius will reverse the gravity on 2 of our players or some of our team members who will shoot up into the air. And they need the assistance of those gravity people in order to pull them back to the platform. There's also a massive knockback that Dimensius does from time to time, so we need to be careful not to be knocked off. And then there's like a big pool that it drops on the floor that we need to soak up. That in essence is phase 1 of the Dimensius fight. Making sure that we don't get knocked off, making sure that we have gravity in order to pull our friends back down, and then is the idea of waiting until he has full energy, where once again all the gravity people come together, they create a gravity field, we make sure that we don't get sucked up until Dimensius is at 0% health. But of course, that is only phase 1. Now we get to go on a little trip into his realm, into the Dark Heart.
You have not won.
I've got you! We're in Dimensius' domain now, so stay close and listen to me.
You dare come closer. You will
This, in my mind, is one of the most impressive, visually stunning fights, visually stunning transitions that they've ever done. Flying is made available, and it's up to us to avoid the massive rocks, the debris of planets that he throws at us. This is inside the Dark Heart, right? So remnants of Dalaran can still be found. Dimensius shoots like his massive death beam, massive spaghettifying laser beam that we need to avoid. Meanwhile, we're flying to the first platform, and there, if it wasn't hard enough as it is a mini Void Lord. A previously devoured rival of Dimensius is waiting for us to fight them. There will be little Void Wardens that spawn across the field, and we need to kill a couple of them in order to open up the way. Because in the meantime, Dimensius is just gazing upon the fight in the background, ramping up his next attack. He is going to shoot a massive boulder across our little platform. And the way that it works is that he indicates where the boulder is coming from by what arm he pulls back, right? Like very Final Fantasy style. So we need to keep an eye on that and avoid it. Move to the opposite side of wherever he is ramping up his attack. And then make sure that we go back closely to Dimensius with a gap behind us, as he will do a pushback. He's trying to push us off the platform, he's trying to end our lives, and of course we do not want this. We repeat this until...
You've done well so far. Surprising, but we're not done yet. Follow me, and try to stay alive.
It obeys me. Insects, parasites, away.
Once more, we take flight, and we go past Dimensius. If you have a moment and you're doing this fight yourself, or maybe you'll be going into LFR, do make sure to just gaze behind you as you rotate, because the way that Dimensius slowly turns around in order to do more, in order to once again repeat the same phase, it is menacing beyond belief. It is so visually stunning, and then that music in the background is just insanity. They have done so well in my mind. So here on the new platform, we once again do the same thing. We fight against the rival. He will pop up ads that we need to clear the way from. We need to be careful of the rock that he throws at us. And then there's the pushback.
Your time is short.
We must strike! Now!
Thank the light you're alive.
The Manaforge is stable. What of Dimensius?
In hand, but not for long. We must keep him from regaining power.
Your continued struggle is meaningless. All portents seal your doom.
And then there's one last phase, and this one has first Dimensius kneel down as he takes a little bit of extra damage. We are now in Devourer's Heart, and we are joined by Alleria, by the Locus-Walker. Final rounds, final gambit, final things that we need to do against Dimensius. Around him, little planets spawn with Extinguish the Stars, and these will rotate around him. You don't want to stand on them regularly because, you know, damage taken, but they will be useful later. Next to that, we'll have stars falling from the sky, and as they land on the floor, there's a massive wave of cosmic energy that shoots out of them, and this leaves a debuff on you. 3 stars on our difficulty, and you need to keep an eye on your debuff before you run through the second wave. Make sure that your debuff has fallen off before you take the next ring. Do that 3 times and go back into the fight. Then he will once again try to devour us, because, you know, he's not called the all-devouring for no reason, and this time around, we don't have living mass to keep our gravity going, right? So we need to use those planets that he summoned. They will be our gravity force. Yes, we'll take a little bit of damage, but it's better than getting one-shotted by being devoured, right? You move with the planets until he's done giving the big suck, and then you move away, because he will choose random planets to be turned into black holes. And if you touch those black holes, you guessed it, you are going to die. In the meantime, we can look at the edges of the room, and we can see that Xal'atath, Locus-Walker, and Alleria, they are very busy with keeping that void at bay to keep us a fighting chance against Dimensius. Dimensius the All-Devouring, a legendary Void Lord. And with the aid of our allies, specifically Xal'atath, Xal'atath, who definitely saves us from instant demise a few times, Dimensius gets sucked into the Dark Heart. That is where our battle with the Great Devourer ends. The Void Lord is not truly vanquished. He is contained within the relic.
Can it truly be? At long last, the all-devouring is vanquished. My world, my people, we are finally avenged.
Do not savor this victory for too long. With Dimensius' defeat, the Dark Heart is on the verge of collapse. I'll hold open the way so you can make your escape. But to do so, I must remain on this side of the portal.
Which would leave you trapped in here. How selfless of you.
Some sacrifices are inevitable, I suppose. But fear not, Alleria. I always find a way to survive.
Oh, and one last little detail bit before we close the book on the Dimensius fight. This was posted by Portagage on Twitter. And they showed that there's actually a quest item specifically for priests out there, which relates to their artifacts and their quest line all the way back in Legion. Back then, there was the artifact Tur, Beacon of the Naaru, and the scrolls of lore say that the Draenei have had many legends about the benevolent Naaru. Few are as cherished as the tale of Tur. Like other Naaru, Tur vowed to protect all mortal civilizations in the universe from the clutches of darkness. This noble quest eventually led the holy being to a world called Karkora. Its mortal denizens faced annihilation at the hands of a monstrous entity known as Dimensius the All-Devouring. As Dimensius shrouded Karkora in void energies, Tur expanded its own life force to spare the world from doom. The Naaru shattered into fragments and sparked a colossal holy nova. The energy cascaded over Karkora, washing away the voids and banishing Dimensius from the world. Tur had shattered, but even broken, its light was undiminished. Each piece blazed like a star, drawing Naaru from the far corners of creation. They scooped up Tur's glittering fragments, and they sang songs of the sacrifice that had saved a world. So Tur sacrificed itself in order to banish Dimensius and save that world. And from Dimensius, a priest can loot a curious crystalline fragment. This fragment appears lifeless, but as you continue to stare into its recesses, you feel something. Not power, but a memory of one, now dead and depleted. This crystalline fragment has lost any luster it once had. Now finally extracted from Dimensius' dread form, and in the hands of the devout, a brief glimmer revives in its depths. You recognize the name inscribed in that power. This is a fragment of Tur, ancient beacon of the Naaru, which they then bring to Omen. And Omen recognized as a fragment of Tur. As you know, as a protector of Tur's legacy, this Naaru viewed the dark and the light as mere aspects of a greater truth. What creates has the power to destroy in equal measure. Demonstrate this lesson, and you will reach a new understanding of yourself, and of the great Naaru, whose sacrifice was able to halt annihilation of an entire planet. Demonstrate your mastery over life and death by then having a quest in which you need to destroy 20 worthy creatures, as well as resurrect some players, and then you'll unlock this skin for the weapon. A nice callback, a nice reminder of the skins back in Legion.
We did it. Dimensius is gone.
Not gone, but contained within the Dark Heart.
As is Xal'atath. A fitting end for her. No. Wait! You... What did you do?
I kept my promise. Together, we vanquished Dimensius. And I now have all I need to claim what is mine. Oh, this has been a delight, Alleria. But our little game is over. When next we meet, I will take everything you love.
Locus-Walker picks up the relic, and in some form of like energy exchange, Xal'atath trades places with him, obtains the Dark Heart just as you want it, and leaves herself at a very beneficial position out of all of this. Where at the beginning of the War Within, Locus-Walker warned us that Xal'atath was coming as the Harbinger for this world. Xal'atath, with the Dark Heart in hand, she was setting her sights on Azeroth, on that world soul, and now she is setting her sights on that world soul. We don't have the Locus-Walker anymore. The Dark Heart has been juiced up to the max with like the Void Lord in there. And again, Xal'atath has set her sights on the world soul, on everything that Alleria loves, and time is going to tell where this is going to go.
Locus-Walker should have listened to me. But what would it have mattered? Dimensius had to be stopped. But in the end, the one who profited most was Xal'atath. And now we must stop her. More powerful, and without my mentor, our ally, who understood her best. I need time. We will discuss this outcome later.
I've already done a reaction video to the cutscene, and there's been a lot of comments on this. One thing that I would have loved to have seen to improve this cutscene for me is that the Locus-Walker would hear a more clear voice in his mind. Alleria makes a comment earlier in the questline where she calls the Locus-Walker like the puppet of the Void, right? Imagine if the Void, if the Whispers overtook him. Imagine if he wasn't that great dominator of the Void, and that is what pushed him into picking up the Dark Heart. Perhaps that is exactly their intent. Perhaps that is the story that they want to tell. I just don't feel like visually that they were able to bring that across proper. Similar to how they weren't able to bring across visually the arc that Alleria followed through at the beginning of the War Within. Beyond that, the idea of Xal'atath ending where the War Within started, a gut reaction is that it just feels like we went nowhere. It's not entirely true. We definitely did things during the War Within. There's been character development, there have been moments that happened. But the end result, if you could summarize it in such a way that it's kind of the same, it makes me wonder, why could you not have done anything else? Why did we end at the same ending as where we began? But at the same time, as I also mentioned in the reaction, perhaps that is what they wanted to write for character of Xal'atath. Like, she has shown us clearly during questing of Karesh that she is a master manipulator. She knows how to turn these situations into her favor, and now she's managed to turn this situation definitely into her favor. Does not change instantly her character, does not change Alleria's character. She just made use of the moment, and there was nothing else that we could have done. I appreciate that part. And yet at the same time, there is still that gut feeling, right? Could you not have done anything else with Xal'atath?
I'm not sure what to say. Locus-Walker was my mentor, my comrade, my friend. Since I first embraced the power of the Void, he was there, helping me to control and understand it. He alone supported me when my allies and family pushed me away. He saw what mattered in people, for good or ill. He was my dearest friend. But when he died, his past with the Ravel, the secrets of his ancient fight against Dimensius, I was so angry at him. I warned him. I did nothing but warn him about the path we walked down with Xal'atath. He wouldn't listen. She killed him because he trusted her. Because he understood who she really was. So this is my oath. I will hunt Xal'atath down. I will find justice for Locus-Walker. I will prevent her from becoming the new all-devouring.
Alleria, to make an oath on Karesh is no small thing. Are you prepared to take on such a vendetta?
I am. I have seen the lengths you have gone to fulfill your oaths. I will avenge my friend for all the good he has done in his long life, even as I struggle to understand and forgive his evil.
Then we wish all fortune on your hunt, Alleria Windrunner.
But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the ending of Manaforge Omega and the raid with Dimensius. Of course, the question is going to be, where is this going to take us next? Gamescom is just around the corner. Next week, we're going to get the announcement cutscene. We're going to see what they've been developing. And on top of that, there is also a part of the questline that is more to do with the restoration of Karesh. That part I'm going to combine with the story of the dungeon as well as some of the scrolls, because that is more like the story of Karesh. So for now, you're up to speed on what goes down in Manaforge Omega. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. By all means, let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. And until next time, see ya!